All right, what's going on, y'all? Gazerbeam 2K back here with the man himself, Steuben. Stu, how you living this Sunday evening, afternoon? What's
I'm
going on here?
I'm good. Work today. Jetted home. And now we're here. We're doing the thing. Episode 19 now. 19 weeks.
19.
Uh, give or take some weekage. Because we did a couple double dipping weeks. Worth of episodes and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. We're here, and it's a weird time for Pokemon, right? I mean, we're in that weird waiting time between sets that kind of got extended.
Oof.
The Go stuff came out beginning of July, and it really didn't do too much. And now we're just kind of like chilling for Worlds and Lost Origin and maybe a season announcement. So we're just trying to like get by, I guess, at that point.
Well, I mean, you and I talked earlier,
Yeah.
and we both agreed that, like, man, this it's not a dry period because we have Worlds coming up. I mean, there's just the wait time in between that, and then the wait time between sets. I always been under the impression that if Pokemon Go came out mid-July, it might help us get through a little bit longer because there's still enough stuff to get buy-in with Astral Radiance, just barely for another week or two, and then Go would have gave us that extra 3 weeks of trying new decks, Magic Carp, can we make it work? Ditto's fun,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But now it's been a month since Pokemon Go TCG dropped, and now we're like, now what?
Yeah,
So I guess it's just Worlds or bust.
yeah, unless you're watching the live recording, technically you're listening to this at least on August 1st. So we've made it literally a whole month now with Pokemon Go, and yeah, the novelty's kind of worn off a little bit. We've seen what works, we've seen what doesn't work. Unless somebody out there has like some sort of crack pipe dream of Lunatone Soul Rocket Worlds, who knows?
I mean, it could be a thing.
Yeah,
You
I
throw a
mean
Mewtwo in there, maybe.
the crazy people who build the best decks don't usually give that sauce away. Um, but we'll talk about like controversies a little bit and all that kind
Oh,
of stuff soon, potentially. But
okay.
we are not alone as always, and I'm not gonna let you do the whole
What?
like Blues Clues
Well, come on, let me
introduction
just
this time.
come on.
I
I
believe
had a good one for this
I've.
one. I had a good
All
one.
right, go ahead. Go ahead. Fine, take it away.
Okay, so I mean, with all this just delay and the set got delayed, Lost Origin. I just wish there was someone we had who could test these kind of decks out. Did it on like maybe a YouTube channel where they have proxies, they test out the decks IRL, they stream it. We could watch them do it, and we kind of know what's going to work and not work before we get the set. It's just now I'm sitting here like wondering, is Giratina any good? Is Zoroark any good? I don't know, Stu. I need to know.
So who would you ask?
I mean, the only person that comes to mind is like someone like Justin Basil. He does articles on everything, and he has all these proxies made, and just he's got a whole website for this stuff. That's the only I could think of, man.
And oh no,
Just,
what do you
just the
know?
guy.
They're here.
Ah,
Justin Basil.
here I am. Wow.
Totally not planned out multiple weeks
Not
in
in the
advance.
slightest.
No.
No,
What?
that didn't happen.
Look, we need to start having our guests turn off their camera and then turn it on all of a sudden when I say, "Whoa,
Well,
look
no,
who's here!" And it's
that
just like,
would
"Whoa!"
ruin the OBS thing. I would have to just like hide the source and then reopen it or whatever.
Even better. We'll start doing that now.
All right, hang on. Let me go. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
I'm not.
No.
No, we're not doing that. But
Oh
yeah, thank
man.
you for joining us. I know we tried for a little bit, scheduling conflicts and all that kind of stuff, but we're glad to finally have you aboard.
Yes, sir.
Glad to be here.
So,
Yeah.
Gazer, go ahead and I know the hot take is his name is actually not Justin Basil.
There's no way you can tell me that. It literally says just in Basil right there. Wait a second. That I is capital.
So we both know the
Just
real
in.
deal, but feel free for anybody who is always kind of wondered what your name is meant and what's the real deal with it. Give everybody a hot take.
It's a hot take. It's a cold take
How is
at
that
this
a hot
point.
take?
It's a cold take at this point. It's not even warmed over. It's a dry pun, is what it is. So a lot of people will be familiar with just in time as like the phrase just in time. Oh, I got there just in the next time, just in time. It's a play on words with time being the herb, but the better herb, which is basil. So just in basil.
Just
That's the whole
in
play.
Basil.
What about oregano?
Yep.
Just
That's
in
too long.
oregano. Oregano's not bad.
Got to you got to diversify your seasonings and spices and herbs and all that every once in a while.
We're gonna see a counterfeit account just in oregano.
Actually, the suspicious herb is cilantro.
Oh,
That's in fact
Sus.
the reaction or emoji or whatever on my Discord. It's sus basil is cilantro.
oh my god. I mean,
Yeah,
I do like your logo though.
I like cilantro, man, with some
a lot of
lime.
people do, myself included.
Yeah,
But like a lot of people don't too, which is why it's funny.
I dig it. I can get it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I like your logo though.
go ahead.
But for this podcast, we know you're not Justin, but we will be calling you Justin or Mr. Basil, something along those lines. When I first saw your who you were and your name and some of the YouTube stuff and the logo that I love, I was like, why is that I capital? I said, I don't get it. It's like Justin, your name just what are you doing? Just in. And then I was like, oh, I get it, just in. I understand it now.
Yeah, Gazer is a kindergarten teacher, so
Took me a while. Yeah.
he should know better. He should, but he's outsmarted by the kids in his class sometimes.
Most of the time. Yes.
Yeah, like that one kid that called you poop face.
No, it's actually fart face.
Oh, fart face, poop face. What's the
It was fart
difference?
face.
Did he at least add the McGee at the end?
No, just fart face.
No, that's first grade.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You don't get that until you get the first grade teaching. You don't worry about last names until then. So,
Mr. Basil, once again, thank you for joining us, man. Just starting off, give us a little background about yourself, who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing it.
Let's see here. Where do I even start? Website. I started on Reddit a while back. I'm a Pokemon professor, so I was always helping and still continue to help new players at my local league build their decks, especially their first decks. Put something together they can play with, learn how to play the game. A lot of players would come up to me and basically like, "How do I build a deck?" So a while back now, I wrote a deck building guide. It was like 70, 80 pages in Word with a whole bunch of information for new players. Put up a PDF of it online because I thought, if people in my local league are finding it helpful, then maybe people online will also find it helpful.
Mm.
Put it up on Mediafire, I think it was, and people immediately were like, "Hey, I'm having problems with Mediafire. Mediafire sucks." Blah blah blah. So I was like, "Okay, well, let's try this." Ended up putting together a Squarespace or opening a Squarespace website and slapped a blog post up with the PDF attached so that people could download it. And then, of course, the response is, well, this isn't very mobile friendly. Well, that's true. That wasn't exactly the intention originally, but I get you. So over time, I gradually transitioned the deck building guide into a mobile friendly website, like an actual website instead of just a PDF. And then everything else started getting tacked on in the process. So you have everything else that the website is now is stuff that's come over time.
yeah, and
That's
you
very
also
basic.
write articles for Poke Beach occasionally.
Mhm.
So,
Occasionally, quite often.
yeah.
Quite often.
Yeah. Well, you're one of the more common names on the website,
Yeah.
but no, you do a lot of helpful things. I really do like the weekly meta graphics you make that you
Right off
share out
of
there.
Twitter.
Yeah, and we
Right
see
off Twitter. Yeah.
everybody steal it and put it in their own Discord. It's
Yeah.
a good friend of both of ours, 9 card TCG.
Nine
He's like,
card.
I need to ask you for permission to do it, and I like that. I always enjoy seeing you on his webcam wars as well.
I've seen a couple. Yeah, I've seen a couple. You've been on there like 4 or 5 times, and I've seen a couple of them. And one
Great.
of them's Nine
Yeah.
cards. Like I steal it from his Twitter every week, and I just put on my Discord, and I need to start asking him.
Yeah, it was kind of
It was
funny.
hilarious.
But so now we'll move into our typical intro nonsense, the 6 prize turn questions. We're gonna ask you 6 random questions. They may or may not be Pokemon related.
Mhm.
Just blurt out the first answer that comes to mind, and if it's something crazy, we'll have to talk about it. Gazer, are you ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
You have the first one?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Basil. Favorite Pokemon.
Blossom. In fact, Blossom.
Oh, you get the sitting cutie. Let's go. Okay.
Awesome.
Favorite pizza topping?
Let's go with pepperoni.
Okay, that's a bit
Right.
controversial.
Nah, not at all.
How? It's like the
simple.
most popular one of all time.
No, it's not controversial. I mean, it's the best. It really is. Like
Yeah.
it's the pizza topping.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Question for me. Um, which era of Pokemon TCG was better? Sun and Moon, XY, Sword of Shield. Sword and Shield.
Sun and Moon, especially before team up.
But no, you got to include all of it as a whole, as in a vacuum.
Still
Sun and Moon?
Yep.
I like the XY a lot.
Favorite brand of sleeves?
Oh, this is a complicated question.
I see some Dragon Shields in the background.
You do. Unfortunately, I've been having a lot of issues with them lately.
Oh.
I would have said in a heartbeat like a couple months ago, I probably have said Dragon Shields without question. I don't know if it's just this batch or what, or if they changed their formula permanently or what's going on. So for a little bit of context, I've been using Dragon Shields since I came back to the game in like 2019, roughly. No, before that even. That was when the website went live. So it's been years. It's literally been years, at least 4 or 5 years now. And prior to this year, I'd split like 2 sleeves total. And then you guys saw my webcam wars with 9card, right?
Mm-hmm.
I split like over a dozen sleeves during that webcam war.
Yeah.
I split like 80 sleeves over the course of a month. Dragon Shields.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like what? At first I thought there was like some really old box that I had, and I was like, oh, this is just it's aged. It's the plastic's bad now. I just need to get another box. Well, I've continued to have those problems with Dragon Shields. I'm like, what's going on? So I've been kind of dabbling in other brands. Right now I'm trying out the Game Gen X, but they're good. They're just not Dragon Shields. If Dragon Shield could fix their stuff and get back to what they used to be, or at least if I could find their sleeves that aren't having this issue, then without question I'd say Dragon Shield.
All right, Gazer, next question.
Oh, I had it, but I forgot it. I got into your conversation there. I was like, man, I said that's deep because I've since I started playing IRL, everyone's like, hey, buy Dragon Shields. I start buying them, and it seems like I get a box that like really great. That they slide perfectly. They shuffle great. I get another box that aren't so great, and I'm like, what is up with the sleeves I'm getting? So I was into your conversation. What was my question? I had a question. Oh my gosh, it was a good question too. It was a good question. I forgot. Subin, come back to me.
And Gazer fumbles. Favorite snack?
That's such a good question.
Apples and peanut butter.
Apples
and peanut butter.
Ooh.
Okay. Nothing. Okay. So no chocolate, no chips, crackers, nothing like that. Just apples.
I mean, I like that stuff too, but apples and peanut butter can't be beat.
Okay, taking them back to my kindergartners. Okay, I feel you.
Hey, if they're right, they're right.
You're not wrong. My question. Okay, Walmart or Target?
Okay, then that's a dirty question. And I don't just say that because Walmart's involved.
Remember, you are technically somewhat anonymous.
That's why I said it's a dirty question.
It's a good question. I told you.
Oh hell. Let's have to go with Walmart, I think. Yeah.
Okay, just in case the supervisor gets back and sees this, got you.
Oh my god. I can't believe you asked that.
I told you it was a good question.
I mean...
That was a good question.
It's a good question, but it's a bad good question. Because, like, deep down in my mind, I have dirty thoughts when you say that word. And I don't mean, like, the good kind of dirty thoughts. I mean, like, the kind of dirty thoughts.
No, I get it.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Steuben was employed by Walmart once upon a time, and wasn't the best experience for him.
Oh, no, I was there for almost 5 years, and every day that I was there, I also wanted to not exist on this planet anymore. So...
Yeah, it's not a good experience.
Anytime
you do something that makes you not want to exist, it's not a good experience.
Yeah, working in retail is terrible. I wish I could just do the website full time and not have to worry about anything else.
Well, okay, let's jump into that. Talk more about the website. So you have a lot of traction on the website. A few people I talked to locally have gotten deck ideas and deck lists from your website.
Mm-hmm.
What direction do you think that site is heading into? Can it be something that happens full time eventually?
Based on current traffic and ad revenue, no, probably not. Would I love it to be? Sure, but I don't think so. I would have to have. I mean, I have a Patreon, but I would need a lot more support there to do this full time. So ultimately, it's just going to be I do as much as I can on the website as often as I can, But it takes time. So like I can keep up with the what's coming up and what's coming out. Like Lost Origin coming up here. I can do the set testing on Fridays and update lists and stuff. I can update little articles here and there that I want to do. Stuff like I did a Battle Academy supplement deck article a little while back. For people who aren't necessarily looking to move past the Battle Academy but want to still add some variety to their decks, they can go to that article and find Erica's deck or Claire's deck and can build that and battle against the Battle
See that?
Academy deck.
That's interesting. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's under other tools if you're curious.
That's
But
interesting.
yeah, so I have there's lots of little stuff all over there, all over the website that people probably don't even know is there, but they're there.
Yeah, you got a lot going on. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you've been like predicting set lists too in recent history, and you've been pretty damn accurate.
I mean, it's not too hard, especially once you start getting leaks, then it gets real easy. But with each of the sets, generally it's going to be something plus something mushed together,
Yeah.
and then it's a matter of what gets cut from that.
Yeah,
to
like
make the
most
list.
recently though with the Deoxys Zeraora, like I was like, they're gonna put them in Lost Origin. They're gonna put them in Lost Origin. Nope, and you called it. You 100% called it.
Well, I didn't though. I actually originally had them in the set list.
Oh,
yeah, a very long time ago at this point, but I did originally.
yeah,
have them
and the more recent like set list right before they announced these new products, which I think this new like thing they're gonna do is a big L. Honestly,
You think so?
I think so.
Where they have the V Star, the V Max. You don't like it?
No, I feel like honestly they should just give us more league battle decks or better decks.
I agree with that.
I think that's a better way to get more people physically into the game. Like, oh, here's a product. It's 60 cards. Please play with this. It's not terrible. And just to take them out and make promo boxes out of them just feels like a big scam.
I mean, you gotta remember, and I hate to echo Water Pokemon Master in this, but not every product in the Pokemon trading card game is designed for players, and it's not supposed
I know
to be.
that, but those when I saw those deck lists in Japan get announced, I was like, oh, these are awesome. I would love to play with these, just like as is for fun. Nope. And then they decided to give us more just like V battle decks, which are honestly pretty weak in comparison.
They're theme decks. They have a different name, but they're theme decks.
Yeah, they're team decks. I started realizing that after the second one, I was like, or the second wave, I was like, wait, these are just team decks. This is gonna be a thing, isn't it?
Mm.
So I do love the league battle decks. I mean, even the ones that weren't so great, like the Urshifu ones, which were so to give you cards you could use, needed a few upgrades. I like that idea. And then when they put out the Calyrex ones, like, yo, this is the direction they did head into. But just like you stated, Justin, these are not just for players; they're also for collectors, also for to catch a kid's eye. I'm like, oh wow, big Deoxys, wow, and yeah, we get it.
Yeah, if they could ever shift to a better packaging material as well instead of these giant boxes with all this plastic, I'd be a little bit more in favor of it that way. But
I mean, they're moving that direction with the tins. They took the plastic out of the tins.
Yeah, and the Go tins, they have cardboard instead.
So I have a Go tin right here, the one with Blissey. You see, it's a regular size tin. It's kind of blurry because of the background going on. If you guys are watching on YouTube, regular size tin. I bought one a week ago. Snorlax tin. It's about a third of the size, about this much here. They shrunk the tin down. They took out the plastic. It's cardboard now, so it's a little more eco-friendly. So I guess they're starting to head in that direction a little bit.
Yeah.
I think back to a tweet that Andrew Mahone, Tricky Jim, made maybe a month ago, stating how a lot of the product in Japan are just so much slimmer and smaller, and meanwhile we have this huge box of just 6 packs. But then you have to remember,
bigger is better here in the United States, right?
Yeah, especially down in Texas, right?
Yes.
But no, I think it's more so to catch the little Johnny's eye, and little Susie sees the pretty Eevee, and she's like, oh, Eevee, and it's just big, kids looking like, wow, I want it. So I think in that aspect, that's what they're going for.
Well, it's a shelf space thing too with retail. Like, your product is huge, therefore you get more shelf space. That's what it comes down to. It's Pokemon's way of saying, hey, look at this, because we get all this shelf space because we're supposed to have these number of allocated products, and we are this big, therefore we get this much extra space because of that. It's all
planograms, man. Oh, you're giving me PTSD flashbacks. No,
Yep.
no. The Walmart never dies inside of you.
Subin, can you stock the shelves? No.
No, no shelf stocking. None from me. No, thank you. I mean, I technically do it at work now, but it's completely different, and it's like
You do it at work now. That's right. Wait a minute.
but
You do.
it's like one cardboard box, maybe 2 or 3 every other week max. So
That's gotta be exhausting.
yeah, oh, I'm so tired. Oh boy, let me put this case of booster boxes on the shelf. Oh no, I'm beat.
Oh no.
Yeah, good.
Such a tough job you have there. What a great tough job you have, Subin. I'm so sorry for you.
It's okay. My condolences to Mr. Basil for having to go back to Walmart every
Retail
day.
sucks.
Yeah, I couldn't do it again. I could never do it again.
You guys could do like me and teach. You guys could try that.
That's what I wanted to do actually,
Really?
but
Okay.
pandemic has slowed everything down. So
Well, talk to us. What's so you wanted to teach. What were you thinking of? What were you thinking?
English, I would love to teach English.
So now what happened with that?
The pandemic. The pandemic basically made everything impossible. Needed the security over the.
Ah,
He's throwing a tantrum. Can you tell? He just threw all the dragon shields on the floor.
Well, you did
I
just slander them.
Yeah, he's having the same reaction I've had lately.
yeah, he picked up on on your feelings. He's like, you know what? Yeah,
No, he's upset because it's his feeding time and he's not getting wet food, and this is his way of telling me that he wants his wet food right now.
Oh,
That's what it is.
bad kitty.
Yep.
Oh, spoiled little brats they are. But
Oh, him in
love him, though.
particular.
You
yeah.
love him.
Oh man.
But no, going in for teaching, is that something you would look towards in the future, maybe? Or
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
okay,
Okay. And that's definitely like a complete opposite. I mean, you know, Pokemon professoring is basically teaching, in one way or another, and all the helpful guides and all that. So
Yeah. Oh, I mean that's part of why I love it so much.
Mhm.
Like I'll go to leagues every Saturday, and I'm teaching people how to play mostly. Like yeah, every once in a while I'll jump in a tournament, but for the most part on Saturdays, I'm either running a tournament, judging a tournament, or teaching people how to play, or some mix of the three.
yeah, and I mean everything you do is super helpful for the community. So I definitely appreciate all of it.
we have here in Fresno, we have 4 or 5 professors, but there's one that runs like tournaments at 3 different shops every week. So like I see him about 3 times a week, and I'm like, bro, you appreciate what you do because what you do is not easy a lot of the times.
Yeah.
You can
So yeah,
definitely.
I'm starting to learn. Yeah, I'm starting to learn more about your professors and judges and you know all the things you guys have to do, and just salute to you guys. You guys are in tough spots a lot of times because I'm the Pokemon player in us wants to play. So
Yeah,
I
for
get
sure.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, my play days are Fridays. That's when I get to play.
Yeah, when you do it
What
on
have you
stream, and you've been doing a lot of Lost Origin testing.
been?
Mhm.
Any early conclusive thoughts?
Let's see. Based on what we've tested so far, Electrode is ass. So don't bother with that deck.
Okay.
We tested that yesterday, and Electrode failed to get an attack off. In
Oof.
4 games, failed to get an attack off.
Failed to get an attack off.
Yeah, it was not great.
You have the tool where you can hit through paralysis and sleep, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And you just put yourself to sleep or paralyze yourself, and you're just good to go,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, and
So
then just do all of that at once.
Oh yeah, so it's just a brick.
That's the problem. Is you can get part of it, but getting
mm,
all of it is not very likely. And we were running the Intelligent engine specifically to try to make it possible,
Oh
and
no.
it wasn't enough. And
mm.
so the list we've got right now that we're going to be testing probably not this coming Friday, but Friday after, will be with the Peony Barrel engine to see if that makes it any better. But honestly, it's so bad that if it doesn't do significantly better in this upcoming testing, it's going to get pulled off the archetypes page from Lost Origin because it's just so awful.
Okay.
This isn't a real deck. This
That's
is that thing at all.
that's pretty brutal not to be able to attack once. in 4 games.
So somebody in chat says 4 games, a particular build is not enough testing to say a card is trash. It is when it doesn't even get an attack off. So
that's pretty brutal.
Yeah. I would agree with that too. Like, man, I mean, you still got to test, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 10 games, but not even attacking once. Yeah, I can see that now.
Sorry, no. Like, most decks, most of these times we play dozens and dozens of games with them. We'll change builds and stuff. But this deck, no, it's getting changed. Those 4 games are good enough to tell me that build is not going to work. We're moving on. It's not worth the effort to try to keep playing a deck that's not even going to function well enough to get an attack off.
Yeah, 4 games, no attack. I'm with you. I'd throw it out too.
So is Giratina all of the hype that a lot of people are putting it into? Or do you think it's going to be underwhelming, underperforming?
It's going to be underwhelming. Is it going to be a bad deck? No, it's not. Is it going to beat Palkia and Arceus? I don't think so either. It's going to either it'll probably end up getting paired with Arceus most likely, or with the Comfey engine, and I think both of them are going to be decent decks. The question is, and we'll see this in the coming testing weeks, but is it going to be good enough to actually deal with Arceus and Teleon and with Palkia? And I'm not entirely sure that it is.
So then, what exactly is holding it back? Is it the attack cost? Is it the affected attack, having to give rid of that energy every time? What's holding it back?
It's the attack cost mostly. Like, it's good. Don't get me wrong. In a vacuum, it's great. The problem is it just has really good competition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we still see in Japan Arceus still do really well. We see Palkia do even better. I've seen Zoroark completely fall off the map. Do you think that's something that people are even going to consider as well?
Yeah, in my testing, Zoroark's actually done the best of the new archetypes. But it has its problems of its own with its weakness, and like the build I have is actually extremely consistent. It sets up very, very well, very, very quickly. The problem is it's also built for consistency. It's not really teched out. It's like when you start teching it out, it gets those hits to consistency. So it's
and I mean you're benching wide, you're hurting yourself. You're kind of playing into Palkia's strategy there, and makes it even easier for that. So that's probably just like an auto loss.
Yeah, and that's not an auto loss you want to take.
No, nope.
It's such a popular deck, exactly.
Yeah, not when I've seen a part of the field.
Huge part. No, Justin, I've seen your builds with the Zoroark and the Giratina, and I gotta say the Giratina. I mean, the Zoroark seems a lot more. Just it seems better. It's definitely I won't say meat and potatoes cut and dry, but it's kind of just like, this is what we want to do. We're going to do it. This is it. Here's the Gengars. Let's attack. There's not really a lot of, trickeration going on like you can with Palkia. With an Inteleon engine, you can, throw in a one of card and something that you want. But, with that, when you played with Zoroark, it was just like, 2 of these, 2 line of these, 3 of these. It was all just staples that you needed. Nothing really.
Yeah. That's cool. It's very, very consistent. Like right now, the list isn't even running Dunsparce, and it probably should be running Dunsparce, but it's not at the moment. It's just it's built to be as consistent as possible, and it does really great at being consistent. But it needs to be able to handle matchups, so it's going to get tweaked as time goes on.
Are there any sleepers that people aren't really talking about that you think could outperform expectations?
Oh man. To be fair, Lost Origin doesn't seem like a great set for new archetypes. Like Reshiram, maybe the Amazing Rare Reshiram with the Comfey engine is not too bad. But is it good enough? I don't know what it is either.
So you would use that and use the Migrate Gate?
Mirror Gate, yeah.
Mirror Gate, that's a Migrate. Yeah, Mirror Gate. And okay,
yeah, it's a 3 attack cost for 270. I mean, you inflict damage onto yourself, but you're a single prizer anyway, so
yeah, you don't care.
You're not like, I mean, you're not going to tank hits even if you didn't hurt yourself.
No. So yeah, you don't care. You knock that anyway. But I mean, is that enough is the Comfey engine enough to really pull that off?
It usually is. You get this that's fairly consistently, and then you have Moltres from Pokemon Go to boost your damage to 280 to take out Arceus or to Palkia and Arceus actually. So you're fine. You're knocking out whatever you need, even without the choice belts. But choice belts, you're one-shotting Muse too.
Mm-hmm.
You have the damage output. It's just you're gonna eat a couple of knockouts just to get set up. but then once you're set up, you're generally okay at just swinging the price trade backward.
I recently saw a Japanese channel cover a Comfy Engine Urshifu deck, and that was definitely interesting.
As we say, I have not seen that yet. That's interesting.
Yeah,
yeah,
they use the Sableye to spread damage.
Nice.
And then the Ninja Boy, the Trash Ninja Boy, can just turn into an Urshifu and then evolve, and they attach Rapid Strike energy and go.
The Trash Ninja Boy.
So
I like it.
Yeah, it
My
seems
boy
like
Thornton.
a cool concept. Yeah, Thornton. I keep forgetting his name.
My boy Thornton. You called him a Trash Ninja Boy?
I mean,
Yeah, do you mean because he's worse than Ninja Boy, so he's trash? Or you mean he literally comes out of the trash, out of the bin?
He comes out of the trash. Like that's
Okay.
like we call it the discard pile.
Yeah.
In Japan, they call it trash.
Trash. Okay, so you literally I thought you meant like he's not as good as Ninja Boy. He's trash. That guy's trash.
No, it's good.
Okay.
It's a good card. I think I'm very excited to mess around with that card.
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna have fun with Thornton.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of the most interesting cards out of the set, to be honest. That's that card right there is gonna be what's gonna enable all the weird out of left field decks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine now the streams we'll see and all the YouTube videos we'll see with just random Thornton engines and Thornton's builds and just oh man.
Yeah. Comfy engine this, Thornton this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, because like, right now you're either playing the Inteleon engine, you're playing Bibarel, and there's not really much else that you can like supplement a lot of things with, And Comfy might be a new fun way to do pre-existing archetypes or altogether new ones. So I'm excited for all of that. That's probably like the highlight is just the commons and rares out of the set, outside of the overhyped Giratina at this point.
That doesn't make for a good set then.
So
maybe you're right.
It's gonna be one of those sets where, like, in retrospect, stuff's good, but right out of the gate, not quite.
Okay.
Like Mirrorgate is a good card, Comfy is a good card, Cramorant is a good card. There are good cards in the set.
But I forgot about the Cram. There's 110 for free, right?
Cramorant's actually really great.
110 for free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just whereas a lot of sets kind of introduce a big archetype and that archetype just kind of takes over, I don't know that Lost Origin's going to do that.
I mean, people are going to play Giratina. He's a fan favorite for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And
it'll still win games. It'll still win games.
It hits the right numbers, but eventually I'm sure it'll just be outclassed by Palkia and Arceus.
Yeah. Those are the decks. Especially I think Arceus in such a spot right now where it's just the deck. I see it everywhere. It's hard to beat. If you don't one shot it, it's so hard to one shot that thing. It's so hard to beat that thing if you don't one shot it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, which is in Giratina's favor, to be fair. That V-Star power is very potent if you get it up and running.
Yeah, that could help it move up a little bit. So who knows for sure. And other randomness, TPCI just recently announced this like new basically rulebook almost. It's not really a rulebook per se, but all these alternate formats.
Yeah, unofficial formats though, right?
Yeah,
not official,
they're unofficial, but they've acknowledged them and they're calling it an alternate play guide. Most notably, Gym Leader Challenge was adopted technically in there. There's a few other things like Pokécatch and the raid battle and multi-battle formats. What do you guys think about this stuff?
It's like how you said adopted. Like, they said, get over here, we're gonna adopt you. Come over here, GLC. You're ours now. Come on. But no, I mean, just the biggest one first. GLC. I mean, we all got to be happy for Mahone, right? This was his one of his brainchildren, one of the things he thought of and put a lot of effort and time into, and it caught on. I knew it would catch. I knew TPCI would notice it. Like noticing Senpai and want to say something about it when it started getting played at side events at a lot of the regionals. When people start bringing their, they had their duffel of decks, but they'll say like 2 or 3 GLC decks, for the set for day 2. And I was like, okay, that's it's a thing now. It's going to be a thing. Eventually going to say, hey, this is a thing. And I'm glad it kind of came out officially, unofficially. You know what I mean? The other formats, I was waiting to see what happened with, do you remember way back when, like a year and a half ago, they introduced like their version of max raid battles where they had like one big Pokemon with like a whole bunch of HP. Yeah. So you remember that, right? You remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes. You remember that, Susu? Yeah, I thought that was going to be like a thing they would try to push just, so families could play together and hey, mom and dad and
It's not. It's absolutely not.
they talk about you can use a V Union as a boss or whatever. There is a page similar, but it's not the exact same thing.
Oh no, it's not the same at all. In fact,
No,
if you've been following my tweets, it's
Really?
literally not remotely the same.
so they
And in
completely
fact,
just 180'd.
oh, it's not it's not even It's not. There is no semblance between those two raid formats other than the name. In fact, I tweeted about it like,
Really?
yes, this raid format is amazing. By the way, no, not that crappy ass raid format. The old one is just awful. But this new raid format that they've introduced to the side events and in this guide is amazing. It's actually extremely fun to play. I wrote a whole article for PokeBeach about it because I wrote the article announcing, hey, this is all the stuff that they put in that guide or that handbook.
Mm-hmm.
But the big highlight for me of the article and of the handbook in particular was the raid format, because that is actually skill based, whereas the other raid format was high numbers for kids.
Yeah, Unga
It's not
Bunga,
wrong.
big numbers.
Yeah,
It's not
Yeah.
wrong. I work with kindergartners, and a lot of times these kids are just like, "Hey, Mr. Reed, look, this one's got 220 HP," and it's a freaking like a freaking when I guess that's 200 HP. It's a freaking Raikou V, and I'm like, "Oh wow, good job, Timmy, you pulled it, you did it."
mm-hmm.
So yeah, just
50 cents.
the yeah. So it's just the big numbers, like you said. Big numbers are eye catching for kids. I mean, I think I hate to say it, a lot of us remember that this is a children's card game.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be geared towards kids, and that sucks to say. But a lot of things they do are going to be geared towards, big boxes, big Pokemon numbers, a big card, So we got to remember that too. That sucks. Now I'm depressed. Sue can say something. I'm depressed now.
I mean, you're not wrong. It is crazy though if you think about it. Though, like if you look at tournament participation, the Masters division is always the biggest, and they make all these products and the advertising and the marketing. It's all towards younger audiences, but it's adults that play.
They're trying to get the kids in, and they're not succeeding as much as they would like.
Could you imagine a world where they just decided, all right, screw it, at this point, let's just pander to the 20-somethings plus?
Ooh.
Do you think that would ever be successful for them, more so than it already is now, not even acknowledging that group?
I mean, I don't know that they need to pander to us. We still buy everything anyway. Whether it's for our kids or for ourselves, we buy everything anyway.
But if they're saying, hey, we're making money off of this no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, all right. So what if they doubled down on the Masters division? What do you think that could?
I think it would. I think maybe it would be a benefit in the short run, but I think it would just kill them in the long run, because a lot of the people that are playing as Masters now were playing when they were kids, and if you don't have something to help cater to those kids, they're not gonna enter the game. Like, I played as a kid, I came back to the game as an adult, or was like, oh yeah, that's right, this game is fun. But without that experience as a child, I probably would have never even bothered.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I moved from Pokemon to Yu-Gi-Oh at a young age, and that ruined me completely. So that's a whole different ball game there. But it's just crazy to think though that the biggest division for participation is Masters. All the people that make content, Masters. The people's names that they recognize, Masters. Like, I feel like there's got to be some sort of like balance somewhere out there between the two.
The Masters. Well, to be fair, Masters are the ones that can drive themselves to events. They're the ones that can afford their events. They're the ones that decide whether or not they want to go. The kids can want to go all they want. The kids can want to afford the game all they want, but ultimately it's up to their parents. Mm-hmm. And a lot of parents, especially right now with the economy the way it is, nobody's going to care.
No, it's a valid point. They definitely should try another way to get younger audiences into playing, though, for sure. And maybe some of these alternate formats like PokeCatch and stuff like that will potentially
I guess it could at least get them interested, like you said, and then from there, it might grow into, hey, I want to start playing competitively in that. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Hopefully.
I mean, kids, it's always flavor of the week, though. Like, oh, this week I like Fortnite. Oh, next week I like Minecraft. Oh, next week I like Hello Kitty. It's basically bipolar disorder.
Flavor of the week.
Yeah, flavor of the week. Like, I can't make up my mind. What do I like? And I don't know.
I think it comes from a time where, like, you and I probably growing up, or Gazer's probably true of you too, where when you're younger, you got like one thing that's really, really popular for a couple years, and then the next thing becomes big. Now it's like this week something is huge, next week something's huge, the next week after that something's huge, and that just comes from the speed of TikTok. Like
Yeah.
it's that momentary. Oh look, or squirrel. You know,
Yeah,
that's what
blinking,
everything is right now.
blink and you miss it. Flash in the pan, like all that
Flash in
kind
the
of
pan.
all that kind of stuff.
Working in schools, I've seen the trends go maybe 5, 6 years ago. Trends would go year by year. It'd be something really big for about a year. Then next year something real big. And like you said, now it's down to start going down to month by month. Now it's week by week, day by day almost. It's like the attention span is getting smaller and smaller and dwindling down every single hour almost.
Like now, the biggest thing out there is Squishmallows.
Yeah.
That's still a thing. That was about a week and a half ago. Wow, it lasted.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, they haven't sold through yet.
Yeah, once they once they sell all their product, they'll see you later.
Mm-hmm.
So we've pretty much hit most of the stuff that we've had on the itinerary. Is there anything that you want to talk about to shed any light on outside of what we've already discussed?
Steuben, you think this man needs a platform? He has 18 platforms, man.
I mean,
he's not gonna tell anything revolutionary on our stream on our podcast, man. He tells everything. He's got plenty of ears to listen to him, man. We're nothing to him. We're nothing, Stu. We're nobodies.
All right, you said it. We're nobodies. See you later. Podcast over.
I'm the nobody. How did I get invited onto this podcast?
Well, I mean, I don't know. No, I'm kidding. But no, we like what you do. At least I do. I don't know what Gazer actually does sometimes.
Okay.
I gotta.
No, Justin. I knew of you. I never really knew about you. And then I was like, I hear people say, "Oh, Justin Basil." And then when I started playing locally about 4 months ago, everyone said, "Yeah, I got the list from Justin Basil." Justin Basil. And I'm like, "You mean Limitless?" Like, no, Justin Basil, his website. So I checked out the site. I'm like, oh, this is. I finally connected 2 and 2, and I finally understood the pun of the name. I'm like, oh, Just In. Oh, there's an in, and it's not okay. It's not just in. I get it now. So I started putting it all together, and I started, figuring out who you were and what you're about. I seen you would go on Twitter and say, "Hey, I'm gonna test out these new proxies on my YouTube," and I would watch those videos. I'm like, "Oh, okay," and it kind of gave me a heads up of what to expect meta wise. I guess not so much meta wise, but new set wise, what decks to play, what would work, what wouldn't work. It was thanks to you, Steuben, and Mahone. I had a feeling that Regigigas could be, a decent deck, and I played Regigigas hard for like a month. You guys kind of gave me the idea of like this could actually kind of be a thing a little bit.
Yeah, that was one of the early things I built when I started to wanting to make YouTube content again. It was one of the first deck profiles I put out there. And it's still fun. Is it relevant in the meta? Ish, no. But not Ish. Really. Say it lightly, I guess, right?
But so Justin, to ask you then, so you're talking about, Steuben just mentioned how fun, not so competitive Regigigas can be. What are your thoughts on, these single prize decks, Regigigas, Zoroark, Lunatone?
I would like them to be better than they are. How's that?
Yeah.
Because Lunatone has terrible matchup spread. I'm surprised it's doing as well as it is. It doesn't have a good matchup spread. But I'm too much of a Sun and Moon Lost Thunder fanboy, but I want something like Gramble where it is competitive. And even though it may not necessarily be like a top deck, it's still a very, very good, strong deck and has a decent matchup against most of the meta. That's what I want out of a single prizer deck.
Do you think the Arcanine coming out, which is kind of
vibes?
It's got the vibes.
Nope, I don't. But we're gonna be testing that here in 2 weeks, so we'll see.
No?
Maybe. Nope, don't think so. I don't think it has enough support, which is ridiculous to say, but I don't think it has enough support. Its damage. Think of it this way: its damage output is basically identical to Gramble's in a format that has twice the HP.
Valid point.
And it's like you're exhausting so many resources to get to the point where you can attack in the first place that you're not going to be hitting as often because now you're basically guaranteed to two-shot everything, whereas Granbull was one-shotting a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it hit the magic numbers, and now the magic numbers are nowhere near it. So yeah, I guess I could see that. Power creep just kind of takes advantage at that point. And
I don't know if I can say this, but I might disagree. Is that legal? Can I do that?
Yeah,
I mean, you can grab the disagree all you want.
Is that okay?
doesn't mean you're right.
I hate it here
You can
sometimes. My
disagree
own
all you want.
podcast.
I mean, we'll see the results when Lost Origin comes out. If it does well, cool. If it doesn't, then I was right.
No, I see it as single prizes. You just have to hit a certain number, and you two shot everything. That's all you go for, unless you're playing Arceus. Then you don't.
And that's
You don't
great
two
for
shot.
most. That's great for most single price decks, right? When you're playing single price, the problem comes from the way its attack works because
You're saying you have to burn so many
you're
resources.
having to burn resources every turn, so that to get to the point where you're doing that attack, you're exhausting your deck very very quickly. And I don't know that you can sustain that in the current format.
You, I think you can get the attack off every turn, but I think you might be right about exhausting your deck to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm scrambling for a couple cards I can't get to right now because I had to discard them way earlier. And that I could see. But I still feel like you can get the attack off almost every, at will almost.
You
We have
should
enough
be able
cards
to
to
get
do
the
that.
attack off
Yeah.
every turn. Should be able to. That's the problem. Should.
So what you're saying is there needs to be a format that's single prizers that isn't GLC.
Well, I mean, I've said that for a long time. I have a whole page on my website dedicated to alternate formats, and formats that are not completely departures from the main game. Speaking of a little shout out, this next week I have a tournament taking place in my Eternal format, which is base set onward. So not unlimited because it does have bans, but it's base set onward.
Yeah, we'll make sure we have all the plugs and everything in the episode descriptions and all that. And of course the website and Twitter and all that, so people will be able to find it. If you want to talk about it for a moment, go for it.
Yeah, so Eternal formats, again, it's base set onward. So you have access to cards all the way back from base set. So about a month ago now, we did a Eternal format tournament where we had players jumping in on Untap with us. It's part of our monthly our monthly League at Home alternate format tournament for the Just Middle Discord server. Everybody each month we vote on a format to play in Eternal Format 1. So you had people playing Spiritomb and Sylveon, and these decks that maybe not that cat that may not necessarily have worked then or would work now, but because they have such a wide variety of resources available to them in Eternal and in Unlimited, they're able to function pretty well. And so you see some really interesting deck builds.
What are some of the more interesting decks that you've seen come out of it?
My favorite one was Sylveon VMAX, actually. All of the Ultra Necrozma is probably one I would actually build. Sylveon VMAX, unfortunately, one of its key cards got banned. I say that as the person who banned it, but the card was just way too much.
What card was that?
It was a Kecleon that basically gave the Kecleon had a Pokepower that gave it every type that was in the game at the time, which basically by itself boosted Sylveon's damage almost to the maximum.
Oh man!
I play Sylveon, I play Kecleon, and I win. Yeah,
it's pretty much. I mean, Sylveon didn't win the tournament, but Ultra Necrozma did. But it was, if I remember correctly, it was Sylveon versus Ultra Necrozma at the end. So it was quite fun to watch. Those games were very cool. They were
like the Ultra Necrozma GX or just the single prizer. Okay,
the single prizer from Cosmic.
Okay,
same one that used to be really good and expanded.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing is so good and expanded, isn't it?
I mean, it's decent.
I think it's fallen off a little bit.
That cat is gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah, K-Cat's mad.
He's very mad.
Yeah, when you said base set, I just had some serotonin kick in and some nostalgia. And I'm just like, base set. A simpler time.
I do have a physical base through fossil deck built in my collection, just stashed away somewhere.
I have two of them. I
have one too.
Yeah, I don't get to play it often, but when I do, man, it's fun. I built the Magmar deck that came out of the woodworks a couple years ago. With the Lickitung and the Mr. Mime and the Moltres and the Chansey. Yeah, and it's such a bully to play, especially when like people that don't know about it, like, oh cool, base set, oh I'm excited. And they build, Blastoise, or they build Haymaker, or Alakazam or whatever, and then they're like, what are you playing? I'm like, oh, Magmar. And they're like, oh, I'm gonna stomp you, bro. And I'm like, all right, cool.
You say so.
And then I Pokemon Center and scoop up 47 times, and
you're flipping coins,
and I'm flipping coins and discarding the rest of their deck at the end of the game with Moltres, and they're like, oh, what?
Yep.
Definitely see the tilt sometimes.
I remember that. I've seen that There's a tournament on Limitless that was doing formats like that, and I remember seeing that. And I was like, "What is this?" And I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, that's cruel. That's that's cruel."
Yeah,
Back in
there's a
back
lot
in
of
my
fun
day, well, I guess
times.
back in our day, I mean, the closest thing we had to that before that became a thing was what Chansey stall. You throw down a Chansey and you potions and
Scrunch.
yeah, Scrunch, Super Scoop Up, and Pokemon Center, and that was it. You just hope Chansey didn't die. But then freaking Hitmonchan was everywhere. So
Yeah, and all these alternate formats is definitely like one of the highlights of this time of the year too.
Yeah.
Especially when everyone's just kind of like in that lull period where we're waiting for the next best thing and the next tournament, the next format to start. So it's always fun to reflect and play different stuff, and it might help some people grow the game too. See different things. You open up your mind a little bit, so you're not just stuck in the same linear, shady dealings into whatever you need at this moment in time. Having to play with like a more wider card pool definitely helps out too.
Yeah, I love alternate formats. That's why I have that page. It's nice to take a step out of the official formats and enjoy something that's different. Whether that's a no multi-prizer format like my ace list format or a low power level format like 3-4-5. It's fun. You get a chance to see cards that would never work in standard or expanded for that matter do really really well, and they're super fun, and you actually get a chance to play with them. They're suddenly not just bulk. They're something you can enjoy.
hmm I can see that. I look at some cards from as little as what 7 years ago, Hard Gold, Soul Silver, and things like that. And I'm like, and Diamond and Pearl. I'm like, oh man, these cards wouldn't be able to do anything today. I was like, it's like they're they're frozen and just this time this format it worked for it, and then nowadays you can find some nice combos to go with it and stuff like that. But if it was just in a vacuum with another set, it wouldn't work. And I feel bad for some of those cards. You have a cat behind you.
He decided he wants to be on the back of my chair.
The angry cat knocking over the dragon shields.
He's got
You get
quite a
that cat
pile
some,
now.
you get that cat some Ultra Pros, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, he'll just start eating them.
All right, good. All right, cool. So dragon shields get knocked off, Ultra Pros get eaten.
There's the Walmart brand. I have some Gengar sleeves from Walmart.
Those are Ultra Pros.
Those are Ultra Pros?
Yeah, those are Ultra Pro. All the licensed stuff.
Those aren't Ultra Pro. Are they?
Yeah.
No. Oh, they are.
Yep. Mind blown.
Those are some knockoff make believe brand.
That's what Ultra Pro is.
Ultra Pros the knockoff. That's rough.
I mean, the stock Sugimori artwork special. They've done that nonstop recently, though.
Put that Blastoise on there. People will buy
terrible.
it. Yeah. Oh,
put that Pumpkaboo on there.
Oh, we need a tropical theme. Oh, cool. What can you do for us? Well, I put a Lapras. I put a Gyarados, and in the background there's some palm trees. Cool, you're hired.
Perfect. You'll buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like somebody got a sticker book and was like, oh, there's my art. I got it.
Like when your YouTube thumbnails look better than the products for Ultra Pro. There's your sign that it's time to step up your game, Ultra Pro.
Oh my gosh, I'm weak. You guys are right though. You're exactly right. That's just okay. We're gonna put a Bellsprout here, and a Gloom can go here, and a Lilligant go right here, and there we go.
Now you need a happy little Trevenant.
Oh yeah, Trevenant really fits in real well with those.
Happy little Trevenant.
Oh man.
Okay. Oh man, those are Ultra Pros. I just learned something.
Yeah.
I could have. Oh my gosh. I thought it was just some knockoff fake. Just hey, these are Pokemon. So he's like, oh cool. I could put some of my rares in these. Cool. And then
that's about all they're good for is putting some rares in there and shoving them into your binder. And if your binder's also Ultra Pro, you can get it to match.
They're almost as bad as the ones that come in the ETBs.
They've done a better job lately. You notice that? Come on now.
The ETB sleeves? No, they're still terrible.
They're still terrible. No, they're still terrible. But compared to, think of a Champion's Path compared to Brilliant Stars. They're still. He says no. He still says no.
They're terrible.
No, they're still terrible.
Yeah, I'll take penny sleeves over those if I have to.
Pokemon Company, I see what you guys are doing there. I appreciate you guys. Myself, Gazer Beam, they don't speak for me. I speak for myself. I see what you guys are doing. The sleeve quality is improved. Mwah. Thank you.
All right, you heard it here first, Gazer. You guys can send Gazer all of your unwanted ETB sleeves. His address will be down below.
We'll put it right in the description. There we go.
Going from a 50 to a 55 is still an F. I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's a high F, though. Oh, man.
That's
So what do we have next on the agenda, man?
we've covered everything other than Stonks and then the outro shenanigans. So
Okay.
Stonks, I really don't have much. Again, it's that weird time where card prices are coming down. You can
They are coming down. I've noticed that. I've been in the shops, and you're right.
Yeah, I've repriced singles almost every week at work now, and it's just all on the downturn. Even the high ticket like alt arts, slowly trending downwards a little bit. I believe that collector bubble has bursted. Finally, officially, our allocations for Lost Origin came in, and it's triple what we were given the rest of this past year. So, and that had nothing to do with like league reporting or anything yet either, which is kind of the shocker.
You just have extra cards. Like, here you go.
Yeah, instead of 2 cases, here's 4. So I mean that'll help, and we've got more people playing the game at the shop than we do collecting anymore. So having more product for people to buy to play into when it's brand new and build new decks out of, whether they're going to be good or not, is a good thing in general. Just giving people more access to cards.
4 cases.
Awesome.
That's still so little for a shop.
Yeah, before I started working for him, he opened in February of 2020, right before everything got axed. And I'm sure you know how most allocations are tied to pre-release anyways. So never being able to fire off an official pre-release is always just kind of hindered what they can give them without spending more than what you comfortably can. So yeah, Stonks, I mean, like I've got nothing. For playability, I have absolutely nothing.
Yeah, give me some for playability. You never give playability. You always give on the price side. Give me some. And what this is, if anyone is listening for the first time, you've seen Justin Basil's name. You're like, whoa, I like that guy. And this is your first time ever listening. This is our Stonk segment. What's going to happen is here is myself, Suman, and hopefully Justin come up with something, Mr. Basil. And we'll come up with cards that we think are either going to rise in price, financially, monetarily, or playability wise, something like that. So, Subin, you might not have anything on the financial side, but you have anything playability wise this week? That'd be something.
I mean, the most fun I've had recently is with Mewtwo V-Star. So I mean, they're kind of cheap if you want to buy them. Maybe someday something will come out to make it a little bit better. It can technically hit numbers that matter. The V-Star attack's super fun. Being able to hit everything. If Manaphy ever falls out of the favor, it could be a really cool meta call. Just putting it out there. So play Mewtwo V-Star, I guess.
I played locally this weekend, and one guy did have Mewtwo V-Star, but the version he played is kind of weird, and he bricked for like 3 turns in a row. Couldn't get anything on. Unfortunately, I bricked for myself 3 turns in a row as well. It felt like we both didn't know how to play Pokemon for a while. Like we were just just had random, like we just dropped our binders and just, hey, look, I have a card, you have a card, and we're just taking turn drawing cards. But I still like the possibility of Mewtwo V-Star being good. I hope something comes out, man.
Yeah, who knows? We only know one set ahead, so anything could happen with Sun and Moon 12, and then to the moon afterwards with Scarlet Violet. Who knows?
Well, not Sun and Moon. Sword
and Sword and Shield. I don't know why I said Sun and Moon.
I'm like, unfortunately, so we already had Sun and Moon 12, and it had the Malamar that we needed, and it's not here anymore. So, unless there's a reprint, Justin, is there a reprint coming of that Malamar that we don't know about, that you know about?
You're talking about the Forbidden Light Malamar?
Yeah, is it coming back?
No.
No.
Imagine.
It's not.
Imagine. We have Flappy.
Yeah, let me use lightning energy with Mewtwo V-Star. Totally works.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, for Stonks this week, I have a couple cards. One I've seen a lot of play of locally, and I don't know if it's gonna really take off, but I'm like, it's so powerful, it's gotta be a way to make it work. And the other one is a card I think will just I think I mentioned it once before, but I think this card should see more play. The first card is Glaring Wheezing, the one with the neutralizing gas. I ran into 3 of those decks this weekend, Friday and Saturday, and of course I wasn't playing anything good. I was playing MP Palm, but he just shut down my ability, shut down everything I wanted to do. He laughed at me. I see that.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the situation because the fact that you're running Ambipom and run into Weezing is like that's the worst,
Yeah.
worst possible matchup for you.
Yes. Yeah, there's nothing I could do. So my Ampipom was shut off, my Barrels, my not Lilligant, my Cherim. Nothing I could do. I just sat there and I was just like, well, here we are. And just to see, and one of those decks like ran shop and took like fourth place in the tournament, and the other weekend, guy didn't do that great. I mean, his build has a Samurai in it, so that should tell you something.
Yeah.
Didn't do that great. And the third deck with it did so as well. But just when certain matchups, it just shut down everything the opponent wanted to do. And like you're hoping for a boss, you're hoping for escape rope, and it's just if you don't hit it, you're just sitting there just floundering around. And just to see myself and other opponents in that situation, like this card is powerful enough to it has to be something there. It's got to be. So I think that's it should see some play somewhere or another. It's got to see something. Something's got to be done about it.
Something has to be done about it. Like it's a.
Someone has to break it open.
Oh my god!
Pokemon, you need to ban this card. I can't play Ambipom.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, I mean that's part of my complaints too. But
No, I mean I've seen a few.
To break this card open.
I've seen a few Galarian Weezings show up more recently, hopping around some streams. I've seen it paired up with Crobat VMAX again, and it makes a lot of sense. Slow your opponent down, poison them, turn off all their shady dealings, stall them out, and then Crobat comes in and switches back to it. Hit and run.
Yeah. I think dark decks are in a really weird spot right now. The fact that Mew's not as prevalent as it was. But I think almost, maybe 75% of dark decks should have some type of coughing, wheezing in there just to buy time. It's such a good time buyer. Time saver? Time disruptor? Time disruptor. There we go.
Okay. I don't know what you're getting at.
Okay. I'm alone in this one. Never mind. I'm alone. I'm just saying it buys you so many turns. It can buy you 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah, but if you're not doing anything else at all, like, what are you buying?
I'm setting up. I'm attaching energy. I'm powering up my Darkrai's or my Samurats, I guess. My Eternatus. I don't know. No. I'm powering up something dark.
You got to stop with this Eternatus stuff, man.
It's gonna come back sooner or later.
You've said every week for almost 20 weeks now. Eternatus is coming back. Eternatus is coming back, and I have yet to see it other than you playing it.
Justin shook his head and laughed at me again. I don't like this Justin guy. This Basil guy keeps laughing at my takes.
It's all right. Eternatus will pair super well with a binder soon.
Yeah, once it rotates next year.
The best card to go with Eternatus is the binder. No, but okay. And then the other card I've seen, I haven't seen, but should be seen. I think Leon. I think that extra 30, can come in handy now because it helps hit some of the numbers. That choice belt gets us to another V-Star can take out another V-Star if you're running the right time with a choice belt or maybe even a goon or whatever it is. But I feel like Leon just boom takes care of it. And if I need to draw cards, I have a barrel. So I feel like with a barrel seeing more popularity, as the go-to engine over Inteleon, why not run Leon?
Not every deck needs it. Most decks are hitting those numbers anyways, and they just don't need it. Like, you can technically play it with Palkia, but do you really need it? No. With double full bench and choice belt, that's already, 290 anyways.
But he plays around the full bench, right?
Okay, and you got quick shooting to supplement your damage. You got cross switches or boss into something else. Not everything on their bench is going to be fully loaded with HP, so...
I mean, I've seen a couple Palkia builds with Leon in it. Palkia Ice Rider, and even Palkia by itself with a Leon, at least one. So I think there's merit to it.
Yeah, it's really just meta specific, honestly, at that point.
Okay, I see on this so I'm just alone in this one. Okay, I'm gonna go build my Weezing Leon deck and see what you guys have to say about that.
Yeah, because Leon totally increases the damage that Weezing doesn't do in the first place. So yeah, go ahead. I can't wait. You guys. I can't wait for your next stream, Gazer. All right, cool. I'll play Leon, and then I'll go ahead and attack with Weezing.
I'll show you all. Watch this.
Nothing happens.
So, Mr. Basil, do you have any cards that you think will see more playability, or anything that you think is on the rise financially, or?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure 100% on this one, but I'm starting to see it a little bit more locally. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with this one. Mewtwo V Union. I've seen it paired up with Arceus recently, and I think that's an interesting way to play it. Because you obviously have Arceus doing what it needs to do to power it up, and generally doing its Disaster Catastrophe of a Trinity Nova. But Mewtwo V is not a weak card, so it does have its options with Explosion.
Yeah, placing counters is always really good.
Yeah.
I do enjoy placing counters. I did build Dragapult for locals just to play around with, and it was fun. So
Dragapult. I remember those days.
And it wasn't the worst. I mean, I technically won most of the matches I played with it, but Mewtwo, you could definitely see it in either way too. I mean, we see the standard version with control, and maybe that's what some of these people are going to bring to Worlds.
I think it's going to see some player Worlds. It's got to, right?
It's got
it's
good
all over
matchups
Limitless right now.
Yeah.
So it's got good matchups. Before standard, busted Mew wide open. That sounds so bad. Busted Mewtwo wide open. Anyway, before Sander did this thing with Mewtwo, I tried to build with Arceus, and I said, because I looked at Mewtwo, I was like, this card is too good not to be played. So I tried it with Arceus, and my build was horrible. I ran the Inteleon engine with it for some reason. Inteleon, Arceus, Mewtwo V Union, and it bricked, it clunked, it didn't do very well. And now I'm seeing it, like you said, Mr. Basil, with Arceus. I'm like, this works. How come this is the vision I had? How come I couldn't do it? And I realized I'm just a bad player. So to see good players, play well with this, it is fun. It is interesting. It's entertaining. So I would love to see more play.
Yeah, typical Gazer fashion of a bad list.
The idea was there, though. You see, the idea was there.
Yeah, I mean, poorly executed.
It was so poorly executed,
as usual. But yeah, good takes. We've kind of done everything we need to do. So at this point in time, the floor is open for you to plug anything you would like, any shout outs.
Do you have any questions?
Nah,
we have a few.
They're not. They're
let me take a look.
They're kind of trolly. If you really want to talk about them, we can, but they're pretty trolly tonight.
I see one from Clan Burglar. I'd love to answer.
All right, go for that one.
So Clan Burglar asks, Mega Evolution, Z moves, or Dyna and Gigantamaxing? I'm gonna go with Mega Evolution. So I think Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing is just nah. I don't really care for it. And then Z moves, I mean they're flashy, but they're not Mega Evolution. So I'm gonna go with Mega Evolution on that one.
Yeah. Now in the card game, do you prefer Mega Evolution, or are you talking just the overall Pokemon universe?
So we're talking Pokemon universe. How they were translated into the card game, then technically Z moves win because that's the GX attacks.
Yeah.
If we're talking about card games, I say GX attacks too. But as far as just in the Pokemon universe, the scope of Pokemon, I say I'm with you. Megas were so fun. Megas are so fun. I don't mind Gigantamaxing as much. I don't Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing. Like, okay, new forms, cool. But that just made me want to want Megas a little bit more. Made me miss Megas really. I'm just like, oh, Megas. And I wasn't really into Z moves. I was just like, meh.
It's like, let me flail around real quick so that you can do extra damage.
I liked how a couple of them looked. I like Mimikyu's. I liked Snorlax's. The Pulverizing Pancake where he was sleeping, he woke up, his eyes glowed like a death color, and he stomped on you, smashed you. I like that one. But the rest, I'm like, meh. What about you, Stu?
Yeah, I like Megas. Come on, you guys know me, Mega Ampharos. I gotta say anything else. Look at
those glorious locks, man.
The big fluffy mane of lightning and thunder. Like, come on. And there was more lore and story attached to Megas, and like the pain most of them go through in the process. Like Mega Glalie, like the Pokedex entry is
his jaw.
It's messed up. Like you completely detach your jaw and go through all the excruciating pain, and and I mean, technically out of all of it, the only one that's still getting video game play outside of Sword and Shield right now is in Pokemon Go. There's Mega Evolution. And if Mega Evolution wasn't as popular and, I guess, prevalent as it is in general, they wouldn't have put it in Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We're in a Lola in Go. I mean, and we're still not getting. Well, maybe they'll come later on. But we're not getting any Z moves yet. So
no, there's never been any Z moves in Pokemon Go. There's not any Gigantamaxes in Pokemon Go. Maybe eventually they'll explain how the gyms, how the Pokemon get bigger in there, or how those raids work and how they shrink down. Maybe it's some sort of like bizarre Dynamax energy or whatever. I highly doubt it. I feel like they would have already started to address it with like the Galar Pokemon being in game and all that kind of nonsense. But yeah, it's megas all
I mean,
day.
it's megas. Which mega was more unnecessary? Mega Tyranitar or Mega Scizor? Or Mega Lucario? Which one's just like not really like you don't need a mega?
I think they're all okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think Tyranitar needed a mega or Lucario. They didn't need megas.
I
I mean, they're both fan favorite Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're my favorites too. But they didn't need megas, did they?
I mean, you want to talk unnecessary Mega Evolutions? Let's talk about Charizard.
Yeah, Charizard's got everything.
He got two. He's got everything. He does Gigantamax megas.
He's like, oh, we're not just going to give him Mega Evolution. We're going to give that by 2.
He has 2.
I mean,
you guys like Mewtwo?
Mewtwo has 2.
You guys like Charizard?
Oh yeah, that's unnecessary too.
Yeah.
Especially
long forehead.
Especially when Mewtwo X sucks anyways in all forms. It was bad in the TCG, it's bad in the video games. It's just Mewtwo Y all day.
I was hyped for X too. I was like, yo, it looks so bad. Oh, it's fighting type. Yo, that's so ridiculous. And then I was like, oh, it's not good.
Yeah.
And then
But Y just looks ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't like how Y looked. When they first reviewed Y on Cerebi, it was, so I was like, oh, Mew 3. It's Mew 3. And then I was like, oh, Mega Evolution. Okay. And then I was like, that looks weird. Oh, it has 2 forms. And I was more hyped for X than Y, but X wasn't. It was, yeah. But you guys are right. That's why the Pokemon that didn't need a Mega Evolution at all, was it? He didn't need anything. But you guys like Mewtwo? You guys like Charizard?
Charizard is just the gift that keeps on getting that you don't want. It's like every year at Christmas, your grandma gives you a package of socks over and over again.
One of my early articles for Poke Beach was literally about Charizard and how it gets so many freaking cards.
It sells cards too.
I get that it's a starter, but like there are a lot of other starters, and a lot of starters that people really do love. Even Greninja, one of the most popular Pokemon of all time, does not get a fraction of the love that Charizard gets.
You're right. You're not wrong. You're right.
I mean, how many times have we seen a Chestnut?
Yeah, but we're talking about Pokemon people like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying in general. I don't like Chestnut.
Chestnut.
I don't like it. I think it's
neither do I. That's a funny joke, Chestnut. Why would you even get him out of here? Don't bring him into this podcast. Get him. Edit this part out.
Chestnut. Yeah. Okay. All right, Gazer. I'll edit you out. So into the troll section here of the Q&A, will be hidden. Which deck is your dark horse to win Worlds, and why is it Stonejourner VMAX?
I mean, Stonejourner is interesting. I don't think it's going to win Worlds, though. I'm sorry. It's not good.
Yeah, especially when the dude that was playing the most got banned. So.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
I mean, at least I think he did. I don't know for sure. They technically never really said if he was ejected, but yeah, maybe we won't see him at Worlds. And if we don't, then there's your sign, I guess, for that. But no, Stonejourner's cool. It's got matchups sometimes, but it's
I've seen it a couple times.
It's a pile of rocks, and it's also a pile of bricks. You get the wrong hand. You get the wrong hand with that, and your game's over before it starts.
You hope you kabu and you pray, right? You kabu, you pray. You hope those 8 cards save you. Yeah,
sounds like
I've seen a few games with it. At the Shuffle Squad, their recent tournament, the Chillerman Champions, I think about 2 or 3 people played Stonejourner VMAX. They didn't do very well.
Now,
they played it.
Do you want to talk about that for a second? I know we just recently had them on and everything, but the top 128 players in the world were invited to play for free in that tournament. And
$2,000 towards prizing, right?
27 of them showed up. 10 of the players in the tournament won in from the Invitational the day before.
Mm-hmm.
If that's
$2,000 prizing,
yeah,
right? I'm talking about actual money, right?
Yeah. But if that's not the biggest disconnect between the top players in the overall Pokemon community and the people who consume Pokemon content, I think that's like kind of an eye opener. I don't know, and I mean, like they promoted it. We've seen it. They were here. Seen tweets from all of the members. They've YouTube content. It just shows you that so many people are disconnected from the content sphere of Pokemon.
I think a lot of people that were invited probably aren't looking to reveal what they're playing for Worlds.
That's definitely a factor as well. Yeah, if you spent all this time testing a deck and you give it away on the internet for $2,000 when you could win the grand prize at Worlds, I definitely get that. But I mean, what's stopping you from just grabbing a cookie cutter Palkia and attempting to snag the $2,000?
I mean, at the same time, what's stopping you from just testing during the time you would be on the tournament?
Valid points as well. So yeah,
and I think that's where it goes to. I think they were like, why play online? Like, I have my testing group here. A lot of these top players have testing groups. So they say, hey, all the boys, we're going to test, this weekend. We'll take next weekend off and we'll test the rest of the time till Worlds, and they're like, no, I'm not going to take time out of that to play in some online tournament where I'm playing against, a lot of people think PTCGL is kind of, unfair with the randomization and the RNG and stuff like that. So maybe they're kind of against it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that could be a whole discussion on its own, for or against it. And no shade or disrespect to anybody involved, but that's just kind of like a slap in the face, right? Like to not even have half of the potential players participate.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I've seen various reasons. I've seen people numbering off the top 5 reasons and stuff like that. And a lot of it comes down to people who weren't interested, people who had other things going on. Even though this was promoted weeks ahead of time, they still like had, well, I'm doing this anyway, so forget it. And just people who just were like, hey, I don't care. So I think those are the reasons. And it sucks. I feel for what PJ was trying to do there, and hopefully that they don't discourage them. They keep going and moving forward with stuff like that.
I mean, yeah,
But, there is an online player base and
definitely
there's
needs
an IRL
events.
player base.
Yeah. Both communities need events and fulfillment in one way or another. But yeah, I definitely feel like there's a big disconnect. Maybe if that was open to the public, I'm sure that would have been hundreds of participants.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
$2,000 for me playing at home. Oh yeah, for sure. So I mean, that's why I hope they don't give up. Maybe they just figure out a different way to approach it. I don't know. I love the idea. They had. It didn't work. It didn't work, unfortunately.
I think it's a timing thing. I think if they'd given it a little bit of, not quite so close to Worlds, maybe a month or two after Worlds, maybe to see a little bit more success. I think it's just the proximity to Worlds right now is not great for big tournaments like that.
Well, after Worlds, how much time is usually between the end of Worlds and then the beginning of the next season?
It's almost immediately, usually.
Well, okay. That's a complicated question because the season actually usually starts before Worlds. It's usually like July 1st.
Oh,
that's
is
when
it?
the new season. Yeah, the new season actually begins before Worlds. That's when you start earning points for the next year.
Yeah, usually the first events are like cups or challenges, depending on how it all breaks down. But yet we still have no announcements at all.
We'll probably get those at Worlds. Let's be honest. It's probably gonna all be at Worlds.
Yeah.
They're gonna have like an hour and it's just be announcement.
By the way, did you hear? Did you know? Also,
Scarlet Violet trailer, TCG game mechanic trailer, something involving Unite trailer, something Go trailer. That's typical for Worlds is the announcements, but
they've been really quiet about Scarlet and Violet. It's kind of
they have. Yeah, what, one trailer? No, 2. We had 2, right?
We're at 2 now, but the second trailer was really short. Like even Sword and Shield's second trailer was significantly longer and more information dense than this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am interested to see how they what the new mechanic's going to be for the TCG. Well, we have to first see what it's going to be for Scarlet and Violet. But I'm interested to see what the TCG is going to be. Are they going to be like Pokemon, XQYs or GXCs or something? I don't know. What are they going to call them? I'm curious. I'm excited. I want to know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully everything's good. I would love to see something very different. There's leaks out there. I've kind of looked at them. I'm not going to talk about it to respect everyone's like hopes for spoilers or anti-spoilers or whatever. And if the leaks are real, how that applies to the card game could be kind of interesting. But well, that'll be a topic for an episode in the future.
You've been watching A-Drive, haven't you?
No, I don't. No. Normally I don't bash creators, but that is a guy I don't watch. I won't. No involvement, no interest.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about too.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I watched them for the leaks. I did. I watched for the leaks, but oh my.
Nope. I'm good. I'm good. That guy is something. He is something. All right. Ready for some troll questions? I guess this one's for Gazer from Bags. Why does Gazer dress up as Tingle for fun time with his wife?
Okay, so to answer Bag's question, I've never dressed up as single for fun time. That was Captain America. I did before. I did use the Captain America suit for that. She was Peggy Carter. I wasn't. No, I'm joking. But um, Bags, if you're still here, after this stream, about an hour from now, I will be I will be streaming my 2-year stream anniversary on Twitch, and I will be as Gazer Moon. I'll be put down in the Gazer Moon costume, and we'll be doing that in about an hour. So, anyone hearing this live? I'm not live. Anyone hearing this on Spotify or YouTube? I'll be deleting the VOD, so you won't be able to see that. Sorry.
Okay, so what you're telling me is to open up OBS, drop a screen capture into OBS of your window, and record the entire stream and sell the bootlegs in the Gust of Wind merch store.
What would you title it? What's the title of it? What do you call it?
Gazer Exposed. All right. Yeah, and then one of the next questions is why was the stream anniversary delayed again? So you're gonna go live. You can talk about that there. And the last question: what functions from the anime and video games would you love to see in the TCG? This is from our boy X Tangram. So what sort of items or mechanics from the video game or anime would you love to see incorporated into the TCG somehow? We've already had held items in the past. We technically still do with tool cards.
Yeah, that's what tool cards are. Held items. What do we not have? That
natures.
Yeah, natures and IVs or whatever. But I wonder.
Kind of cool.
How they would do that. Like, say for example, all right, well, let's print 3 copies of Pikachu. Same attack, same retreat, but this one will change the resistance to -40, or this one will give 10 more HP, or this one will do 10 more damage.
I think you make it like almost like remember Ancient Traits? You put like a small thing, underneath the card saying this Pokemon does 10 more damage per attack, per turn or something like that when it attacks. This Pokemon takes 20 less damage, for bold natures and, whatever it is. This Pokemon can attack on the first turn going first. So, that'd be interesting. Something like that, maybe.
Well, that'd be more inclined with abilities, if anything. If it...
No, because nature, some natures make you faster, more tankier, more offensive.
Just not to steal from another card game, but inheritable traits would be real cool.
Oh, yeah. Totally not this card game at all.
Not this card game, but that'd be real nice.
Totally not the.
Put that down.
I mean, it's a fun game, man. I've been really loving the Metal Garurumon X Antibody deck. It's a lot of fun.
I bought some packs. I showed you the packs I bought.
Yeah,
I showed you the pictures. Just put those away. Okay, my packs are worthless. Got you.
But yeah, inheritable effects would be super cool. But I don't know how they would. They'd have to put it on an evolution, and it would literally be just stealing from the Digimon card game. So, could be weird to see.
That'd be cool though. To see Pokemon steal something from a newer card game, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
After all the time they say Digimon stole from Pokemon, now Pokemon.
No. People made up that rivalry. Honestly, they're like, technically, Digimon is a little bit older. Technically, right? If you're going back to
the Tamagotchi,
the virtual patch and all that, I believe those were a year ahead, if I'm not mistaken.
To the Tamagotchi, I get you.
So,
I love Digimon. Don't get me wrong. I love digital monsters, man. We did get another question to come in from our guy PJ himself. So shout out to PJ and the Shuffle Squad. We had them on 2 weekends ago. PJ is asking, how pumped would the Potters be to commentate an IRL event if the Shuffle Squad / Full Grip game or Full Grip event were to happen in the not so distant future? Also, PJ says hello to you, Justin. He loves your work.
Thank you.
I would say that I live an hour away from Akron, Ohio, so hit me up.
I would say I would fly out. I would take off work. I would drop the kid off with Grandpa, tell the wife and stepdaughter bye, give Grandma a hug, and I'd fly out there for that.
There you go. So yes, they would be excited, apparently.
Extremely.
I would enjoy it, but I don't know that I could get off, unfortunately. But
you tell those
COVID
corporate punks that you've got COVID. I need to
So you
go.
got COVID.
I gotta go on a
Doesn't
leave.
even work anymore, right, Stu?
I mean, only if you don't get sick a month before. I don't know.
Keep calling and
I
say,
don't know
"Hey,
how those
COVID."
policies are still in effect or whatever. If they've changed them, I'm sure they've axed everything already. And
Man, I love my school district. I just literally call and say, "Hey, COVID," and there's nothing they can do about it. Or, "Hey, I don't feel well. I'm gonna stay home." Nothing anyone can do. I love that. I don't do that, but I love it though.
Yeah.
so basically, Gazer, you do it.
I've done it like twice. I
Yeah.
did.
Okay. Gazer exposed.
Put that with the commentary and of me in the Sailor Moon costume. We'll do that. You're right.
Oh
Put it all
yes.
together.
Sailor.
But
Oh,
no.
I remember. I was gonna. Do you remember the name I told you to use?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We can't say that here, can we?
No, we can't. No, we can't. Maybe one day, if people like the podcast enough, we'll do a
After hours.
an after
dark?
hours one. We'll do it on like Fan House or something where like it's safe for us to be a little bit dirty.
We get raunchy.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be.
Hey, Justin, you want to come back on a after hours podcast one day and get raunchy with us?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go nuts.
Let's go nuts. Let's do this. No. But no, Mr. Basil, man, thank you so much for joining us and being here, man. Justin Basil himself came in.
Thank you.
He plays 9-card a lot IRL. I mean, not IRL, but on the webcam, he shows his IRL, decks for the next card set coming out. His website is completely necessary for any up and coming players. Anything else you'd like to plug, man? Just this. The floor is yours. Say what you want to say. Anything you want to say. Plugs. Instagrams, Twitters, Facebooks, MySpace.
Sure. I am on Twitter at Justin Basil TCG. I'm on Instagram at Justin Basil TCG. I am on Facebook at Justin Basil. I have a Patreon if you want to support me that way. Yeah. I mean, also there's the website if you're not familiar. Go check it out and maybe dig around and see if there's something that's useful for you there.
Yeah, tons of awesome information and resources. So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
All those links and everything will be down below in the episode description, or if you're watching on YouTube, in the description there. And as always, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stuff like this and more TCG content, and maybe some other random stuff. And of course, if you're listening on Apple, hey, leave us a review. Spotify has come through with some reviews. There's no text in Spotify reviews, but Apple people, if you're listening on Apple, let us know how much you hate us with love in the reviews, and we'll read them on the episodes in the future. Gazer, do you have anything you want to say?
I'm just anyone who was listening to this and plays me IRL, I will be playing Ampy-Pong for the foreseeable future. I'm just going to troll until I can't troll anymore. Just prepare, get ready for it.
Yeah, and then
they're playing Weezing because of you, right?
Yeah,
that's why they're playing Weezing.
I take this specifically for Gazer. I knew I'd run into him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, next week will be our season finale before we take a little bit of a break. We'll be back after Worlds most likely. Probably 2 to 3 weeks tops for a break. We'll come back with we'll talk about it next week. But new stuff for season 2 when we come back.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, that'll do it from us here at the Gust to Win. And of course, thank you to JustinBasil.com for joining us. I'm going to call you .com from now on.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
JustinBasil.com. Call him .com? Mr. .com?
Mr. Mr.
Mr.com.
Oh my god. All right. But yeah, that'll do it. See you guys later. Peace out.
We're out of here. See ya.